Hey gang, it's Hank here with my Neat King B1 versus Neat King B2 comparison video. Which microphone do you think I'm on right now? Now which one do you think I'm on? Which microphone do you think I'm on now? Now I'm switching back to the initial microphone I was on. Which one do you think that is? Now I'm switching back to the other microphone. Which one do you think I'm on now? Well, what was your guess? The microphone I'm on currently is the first one I was using. It's the Neat King B2. How does it sound in comparison to the original, the second microphone I was on? Here's the original. Here's the second microphone I'm on, and it's the Neat King B. Now, I'm going to say this. There have been people in the comments that have said that this original King B that I have doesn't sound like a typical original King B. They say maybe there's something wrong with it. I don't know. What do you say? To me, it sounds like a really flat microphone, whereas the Neat King B2 has some coloration to the sound. Remember, on free podcast tools, I focus on spoken word content, so you're not really going to get musical applications for the microphones. But once again, this is the Neat King B original microphone that I'm on right now. I'm trying to maintain the same distance away by pivoting my head just ever so slightly, and then I switch back to the Neat King B2. So what is your take on it? I'd love to hear it. I think they sound different. I don't know if the original Neat King B microphone I have has any issues with it or whatnot. I think it sounds fine, but just flat. And I think the King B2 has more of a coloring to it, if that makes any sense to you. It sounds more processed. And I have both microphones hooked with Mogami Gold cables into the Mixcast 4 by Tascam. No effects on whatsoever. No post-processing whatsoever. No boosting gain, nothing. So again, this is the Neat King B2, and this is the Neat King B1. How does it sound in comparison? They do sound very different in my headphones. But as always, it's always up to you to choose a microphone for yourself. I really like the Neat King B2. I like the sound. It adds that little more punch or something to it. It just feels like it does anyway. Maybe it's just a psychological thing to me. I don't know. But I do like the sound better on the Neat King B2. That's just my preference. I think they both sound really good, but the Neat King B original sounds like a mic that I would do a lot of post-production with. So I would take this sound right here, and then I would definitely do some post-processing to it to try to make it sound a little different, a little fuller, a little more bite to it, whereas the Neat King B2 feels like it already has a little bit of bite to it, just a little bit of punch in there already. But once again, I full transparency, I've had people in the comments say that this microphone right here might have something wrong with it. I don't hear that, but I've never owned one other than this one, so I don't have anything to compare it to. It just sounds like a flat microphone, in my opinion, whereas the Neat King B2 has a different tonality to it, in my opinion, even though the frequency response graphs are exactly the same, and the frequency range is the same. Everything seems to be the same, but there's a different sound I feel like I'm getting out of the Neat King B2 as opposed to this, the Neat King B1. So maybe there is something wrong with this microphone. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to obtain a different Neat King B microphone and see if I get any different results. But I'll be very curious to read the comments and find out what you think. This is the Neat King B original, and this is the Neat King B2. Which one do you prefer? Neat King B original? Neat King B2? I did have some individuals ask about musical response on these. Now, I took it to my brother-in-law's house. I wasn't really able to capture much audio, just a heavy bass type beat. There was a lot of noise. We had to finagle the recording, so to speak, and there was a lot of noise. But we got some nice bass tones going on, and you can hear in the short snippet a little bit of difference between the bass response, if you can notice any, or maybe you don't. But I'll just do like 5 seconds of each. But what say you? Chime in down in the comments down below. Remember, this is the Neat King Bee original, and this is the Neat King Bee 2. With all things considered, depending on your application, could there be a new King Bee in town? To me, I think so. I'll be utilizing my new Neat King Bee 2. As soon as my replacement arrives, I'll be checking that out thoroughly. But what I've been told is that the sound is accurate, but I just have a case ground issue. So we will find out if there is any difference, and I'll do an updated video once it arrives. But I did want to pop in here since I own both microphones to see if you could tell the difference like I can. In my headphones, I can tell a difference between the two. And those of you out there who have a Neat King Bee original, which I'm going to switch to now, let me know in the comments. Is it just this flat all the time? Or is this one in particular that I have right now, is there something going on with it that I may need to switch out, get a different one? You can only find them secondhand, obviously, anymore, but I have seen some in recent weeks, and I might try to obtain one. But I think for the next several months, I'll be on this Neat King Bee 2 microphone for my live streams, for my podcast. Over the coming months, I want to test out the Shure MV7X, the PreSonus PD70, and I'd like to get my hands on some other microphones as well. So make sure you look for more videos coming throughout the winter. We're going to do a lot of reviews. I'm going to do a lot of podcast talk, podcast FAQs, all sorts of stuff coming from Free Podcast Tools. I thank you so much for everyone who is subscribing. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. You're going to get more fun content. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.